Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back with another Kaspa video. Before we get into it, could you please go ahead and do me a favor and Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? So here we are, 16 cents. Market's going sideways. Been doing that for months, really. Even though it wasn't that long ago when we hit our all-time high. We are doing better than most altcoins, down 23%, but um, just July 31st. So a little over a month, but let's get into it. Proof of work, money generated. You can see we're just still right there behind Dogecoin. You can see the addresses have went down a little bit, 403,000. Right here, you can see Mr. Kaspa talking, and right here it showed 42 million. We'll go into that in a minute. There's no other really new updates from Kasplex, but when you go to Kasplex, so what's in the thumbnail and the title, video title, it's showing Kaspa at a glance on testnet 10 in the week or whatever it's been. There's been 44.6 million. You can see that's growing 44 point almost 44,700,000 almost in 34 million transactions. So that's a lot of gas fees. And if you go up here, and this is just on Kasplex.org, you go to the main net and it shows what was paid out on just that 1.5 days or 1 day. It was almost 2 million Kaspa gas fees paid to the miners. So that's going to be huge. That comes out, it's going to be successful. I know some people think that with the rapid emission schedules, mining is going to get more centralized with more large miners. But there's going to be, 10 blocks per second will change the game on that because I think the rewards are still based on per second. And so there'll be more blocks. But you also have the 721s when I don't know when the KRC 721s will come out. All I've heard is about the KRC 20s, but I know like Caspunks, I think Kaspa Kongs or something, but they're also trying to be that project. Caspunks are trying to be the first NFT project. So that just makes more demand because at the end of the day, it's cool you have fast blocks, but the block space is digital real estate and you need demand for that, digital real estate to increase means the fees. Once there's more demand for digital real estate, you'll probably have more. The fees maybe go up a little bit, still be cheap, but still go up a little bit. So, just globally, you have China. You can see this in the last 4 years, they grew their M2 supply by about 50%. It was under 200, I think 200 trillion CNY, their RMB or Chinese yuan, RMB, whatever you want to call it. Now it's up to 300 trillion. You can see that China's central bank's 56 billion debt purchase sparks talks of bond market intervention. Traders speculate the People's Bank of China will step in to manage sovereign debt yields. And I've linked up to most of the stuff in the description, and also I'll put stuff into the pinned comment afterwards. China's central bank purchases 400 billion RMB of long-dated sovereign bonds on Thursday. Their economy is going through some tough times right now. Analysts said that the move, which stops the bonds from being traded in the market, further fueled speculation that China's central bank would soon intervene in the bond market to prevent an eventual snapback that could trigger Silicon Valley Bank-style losses in the financial system. Chinese debt has rallied this year as global investors bet that Beijing will be forced to stimulate consumer demand in the world's second largest economy. So their central bank, is having some tough times ahead for it. Obviously, you can see what's happened since, let's go to 1971, since Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. You can basically see that we go from $632 billion to $21 trillion M2 supply. So I still have Pi cycle top is something I keep an eye on. We've been working away. You can see that eventually, maybe this cycle, that the orange line never hits the green line, but I got a feeling that it's going to be a lot closer than it is now on that. And when you look at the trading volume, it's been around 1.2 trillion for 4 or 5 months. We did get to 2.5 trillion back in March, but when you look at last market. It got up to 4 trillion in a month, the trading volume. The prior top was 600 billion. So it grew quite a bit. We should see something that's much larger than 4 trillion. Those are some things to keep an eye on. Um, that's a lot of transaction fees. Morning, Davey. Have a great day. Some of these YouTubers spouting $10, $20, $65. Yeah. It's it's tough to know what the price is doing. I guess for me kind of feels like the $2 to $4 range is the high range. I know some people that watch this channel think that maybe it'll be lucky to get to $1. Um, right now, this year, I thought it could potentially get to $1. Right now, that seems a long ways away. But if the market blows up. But I do think that KRC20s can be something that launches us into you can see that that's a lot of gas fee paid, makes it more profitable for miners. Plus, you just can suck in some degens. Maybe there's someone that just feels like, hey, man, I'm going to give KRC20s a shot. But yep, none of us know what the price is. It feels like if everything goes right, somewhere in the $2 to $4 range is possible. We just don't know. But it's also good to probably dollar cost average out at some different price points. You can front run, like if everyone's got their sights on $1, $2, front run that, sell it 90 cents, sell it $1.75, $1.95, whatever you want, whatever your game plan is. One more month to go. Happy Labor Day, DJ Tommy Boy. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. So yeah, they are, you can see that there's probably going to be quite a bit of liquidity, maybe even coming in from China. What are some of the people going to do? There's a lot of people in China, into crypto. There's rumors that they might even ban crypto, but you also have the Bitcoin ETFs trading in Hong Kong. They're going to have to start printing money in the United States eventually. Yeah, and they're going to lower interest rates next month. How much, whether it's 25 basis points or 50 basis points, we don't know. It's at that breaking point with the national debt. All these fiat money, all these central banks are building up, all these countries are building up a lot of debt. People are going to look to digital assets, one more form of a way, ones with fixed max supplies. And so, yeah, but in the short term, if we get Kasplex, KRC20 is going live this month, the market's still down. It might be October or November before we really get kicked in. September for Bitcoin's usually a down month. So it just takes more patience. And it feels like the stronger we go sideways, the stronger, the longer we go sideways, the stronger the base. We'll see. But yeah, it's really tough to know what the price is going to do in this future. I guess $1, we're 10x to, $1.60, $3.20 is a 20x. $3 would put us up around what, like 75, 80 billion. Doesn't feel like that's out of the realm of possibility, but you still need a lot of things to go right. I think that if you get 10 blocks per second, KRC20 is popular, some tier 1 exchange listings. There's a lot of big catalysts and a good narrative around Kaspa, strong community. So a lot of things are, in our favor. I would assume they'll start to slow on the rates. They're always behind the curve. Yep. Yeah, we'll see what they do, but we'll see what happens. But I think there's going to be more, I don't have it up, but there's global liquidity chart. So some people will show the global liquidity chart that's like a accordion that is contracting and expanding on like a 4-year cycle ish. So some people think that more has to do with crypto price rather than just the Bitcoin halving. But I guess the moral story is the testnet 10 is getting a ton of transactions, a ton of Kaspa paid to the miners. I know it's just testnet, so it's mainnet is mainnet, but we can see what happened just in a day or day and a half or whatever. It was almost 2 million Kaspa to the miners. So we can suck in some degens. People can have fun, play around with a little small bag. Maybe it sucks some people in from some other chains. And then it makes it more profitable for miners, and it just makes the network more secure. And lots of catalysts on the horizon. Tier 1 exchange listing, 10 blocks per second. We don't know how all this is going to fit into the price, but I know it's going to be higher next year. Whether that's 95 cents, $1.50, $2, $4, I don't know. There's a limit. Next time I'll share that spreadsheet. That's why it's good to figure out what market dominance you think is possible. If it gets up to 0.5% or something, what the overall market cap is. If it's 8 trillion, 10 trillion, gives you an idea of what you think is possible. There's a point where like there's a price point where it's not impossible, but very unlikely that it's going to reach next cycle. So just got to do the paper napkin math and come up with that. Yo, dude, why do you Mike Tyson request a video? That's just part of my thing, man. It's just a fun way to ask people to like and subscribe it. I think we see $3 to $6 Kaspa in 2025. I've been thinking kind of maybe the $2 to $4 range is kind of the high end, maybe $5 if everything goes right. Kind of you're like kind of around $2 if kind of things go pretty good, but not everything falls into place. Maybe that $3 to $5 if everything falls into place, but we'll see. It's going to be higher next year, in my opinion. Once we get closer to the pi cycle top indicator, you can look back at last cycle. Projects, they'll tend to not all just peak at the exact same time. Doge did in May. Bitcoin hit that second time in November. What was Cardano in September? So it's going to be a fun ride. Going to be higher next year. How much higher? We don't know. We'll find out. Just come up with a good plan for dollar cost averaging out if you decide selling your bag, and just look at the metrics and information you have at the time and try to make a rational decision, not emotional. Because if it does get to $3 or $4, everyone's going to be talking about how it's going to go to 50 or 20 or whatever. So just got to keep that in mind. If ADA hit $3 and Doge hit 74 cents, that would give Kaspa 375, the same market gap. Yep. So that's definitely there in the realistic range. It's got a lot going for it, a lot of tier one exchange listings that could potentially happen. And we know it's on Kraken's radar. It's on its roadmap. Binance has got the mining pool. So there's a lot of the things that are going to happen. I think $2 is too conservative. I mean, last cycle was 2 trillion. This we could go to 5 to 8 minimum. Yeah, I've kind of thinking that maybe somewhere around the 8 to 10 trillions where we end up. Maybe Bitcoin $140 to $200,000. With it right now at 55% market dominance, it should slip to 45 to 40% market dominance. So yeah, that's pretty decent price range. We'll see. It's all, it hitting a 375 is on the table. Pakad TV. Guys, Kaspa can go over 50x if we got listing on tier one exchange. You are so bearish. 50x from here. So what that would, so 20x would put us at what, 320. So then you're talking about $7. You just never know. It depends on how high you get. You can see that when TON came out, it was already in the top 10. So when it got its Binance listing, it didn't really move it all that much. If Kaspa gets a Kraken Binance listing, that just depends. Is Coinbase listed? Those are all factors we don't know. The first one will be the biggest, whether Coinbase or Binance. If Binance already lists Coinbase listed, then when Coinbase lists it, it won't get that same giant pump. So yeah, we'll see. I'm thinking that I still like the kind of the $2 to $5 range, and we'll see. It's got to, depends on when 10 blocks per second come out, things like that. I don't mind Kaspa. Kaspa solved the trilemma. $4 to $9 is really on the table. That's conservative versus bullish look. Hey, Leroy, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I guess $10, let's just say $10 would put us at, that put us at about a $260 billion market cap. So to me, it feels like maybe the 75 to 125 billion, but we'll see. Well, that's all I got for today. A lot of transactions on the test net, a lot of Kaspa being paid to the miner, and I think the only, the KRC20. So then the NFTs, there's a lot of degen stuff. You have fiat currencies keep printing like crazy. China's probably going to be pumping liquidity into their market, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do some money printing over here. So just got to be patient, and next year is going to be higher, and we'll see whose predictions are right. And if we're all up, then we're all going to be happy. So just get your game plan for next year so you're making rational decisions and not emotional decisions. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.